Welcome to my YouTube channel Manoj Networker. So today we'll see three important concepts. So have you ever wondered who is the owner of internet, and how the ISPs will be getting the public IPs, and who is issuing the public IPs globally, and who made the private IP addresses free of cost. So let's discuss one by one today. So first let's see who is the owner of internet. So basically internet is a terminology and no one owns the internet basically. So it's not belong to any single person, not to any company, not to any government organization, not to any single corporate office. So basically it's not, no single entity controls it, so it's a group of people managing this internet, and it's basically more of an concept. So internet is a concept, so basically that allows different networks to communicate with each other using a set of rules, and it's a global network. So internet means it is connecting your resources globally. The internet is a globally distributed network made up of many autonomous system networks that are voluntarily interconnected, and it's a physical infrastructure. So internet means it's a infra where you have your routers, network access points, computers, all the network related infrastructure, your data centers, all those combining, we will be calling it as an internet, and it's not belong to any one particular identity or particular entity. So I hope is clear about internet. So now let's see, but that doesn't mean internet means it's not that doesn't mean internet is not monitored and maintained. Yes, internet is well monitored and maintained by some of the set of well defined policies, and there is an organization called INA, Internet Assigned Number Authority. So INA stands for Internet Assigned Number Authority. So they will maintain the global IP addresses and its schema. INA stands for Internet Assigned Number Authority. So it is a standard organization that oversees the global IP addresses allocation and global coordination of DNS root servers and IP addressing and other internet protocol resources. So the INA is also responsible for mathematically producing IP addresses and also allocating the IP addresses. So basically till now you have this idea. So how the end users getting some IP address and how they are getting the internet means, so let's say this computer is connected to switch is connected to router may be connected to firewall. End of the day they will be connected to two ISPs. So in India we can take multiple ISPs. So Airtel is one of the ISP, Jio is one of the ISP, Vodafone Idea is one of the ISP, BSNL, so many players are there right in the market. So from them we are getting one IP address to my computer and he is browsing the internet. But the question is, who is providing the IPs to this ISPs? Like let's say this ISP one is belongs to Airtel. From where the Airtel is getting the ISP. This ISP2 may be from Jio. From where this person is getting the IPs. So to answer that question, so here there will be some big player called INA. Okay, so INA is a global organization and he will manage the entries across the world. So to rectify his work, so he created one more company called RIR. So RIR stands for Regional Internet Registry. So this will come under INA. So this is also a non-profit organization. So that manages the allocation and registration of internet resources within a one region. So it could be Asia Pacific, it could be North America, it could be South America. So like that RIR stands for Regional Internet Registry. So they will handle the resources within that given let's say region of that particular world. So currently there are two types of IP protocols as you are aware. So IPv4 is there, IPv6 is there. So IPv4 was initially developed on around January 1983, and it's a 32-bit, and this is how an IPv4 will be looking like. Whereas on the other hand, IPv6 addresses are 128-bit 6 addresses, 128-bit numbers, and this is how an IPv6 will be looking like, and this is an hexadecimal strings. And users are getting the IP addresses by the internet service providers. So ISPs obtain the allocations of IP addresses from the local internet registry or from regional internet registry. That means these two people, the Airtel, the ISP, so they will be getting the IP addresses from regional internet registry. So this person is getting the IPs from IANA. So IANA is the base architecture where they are mathematically producing the IPs and assigning to each and everybody. So there are some sort of rules how this IANA is giving the IPs to RIR. I'll explain shortly. So but before that, to make our work easier, so IANA has divided all the complete world into 5 sub pieces. So if you see, this is a complete world where you can see Africa region. So AFRINC, so African Network Information Center. So this complete region is one RIR. So we will fall under Asia Pacific region. So we are here. So India, Bhutan, Nepal, Pakistan, Japan, China, Taiwan, all those things will be part of Asia Pacific. So here there will be one RIR, Internet Registry. So they will handle the services related to IP address, DNS entry registration, all those things. So in the same way, Europe has their RIP NCC. All the European countries will fall here, and the Latin America countries will fall here, and this one will form under Canada, USA, and those things will come here. So ARIN stands for American Register for Internet Numbers. So you can see the abbreviations here, and this is how a single RIR is managing their infrastructures. So as I said, there are some sort of principles how IANA is assigning the IPs to RIRs. So let's see, there is official documentation from IANA. So I can add this URL in the description section. So if you would like, you can just go through this. So basically IANA make allocations directly to ISPs, but not to any we do not make any allocations to ISPs or to end users except in specific circumstances, such as allocations to multicast address or other protocol specific needs. That means what it is telling, so the IANA is an organization, they will not directly deal with ISPs. So they will issue the IPs to the RIRs, and through RIRs, so when an RIR requires more IP addresses for allocation or assignment within that region, so we can make additional allocation based on the requirement from RIR. So basically this is how it will work. So this ISP1 or ISP2, so they need to go and talk to their particular region RIR. Maybe if they fall under India, so they can go and talk to AP, that we have it right, APNIC. So they will go there, Asia Pacific, and they can get the IP address and they can reuse it. And if they, as I said, they have some sort of rules. So IANA policy allocation for IPv4 blocks to RIRs, regional internet registries. So they will follow these kind of principles. So let's see what are the allocation principles. So the IANA will allocate IPv4 address spaces to RIRs in /8 units only. So subnet, these are subnet mask. So I'm sure people who are in networking industry, they know about subnetting mask. So I'm not going in depth about what is /8, how the /8 is coming, but basically the IANA will allocate IPv4 addresses to the RIRs in /8 units only. So the IANA will it gives the lease to the at least 18 months period of time to single RIR for that public IPs. So the IANA will also allow the RIRs to apply their own respective chosen allocation and reservation in order to ensure efficiency and efficacy of their work. So once the IANA provided the IPs to RIRs, it's RIR responsibility to segregate the IPs in a efficient and segregate manner, and they can assign to the ISPs, who are from ISPs they can bought these IPs. And initial allocations, so as I said, any new initial allocations, any new RIR is been creating, so they will be by default allocated with /8 block only, and this allocation may be regardless of newly formed RIR project utilization figures and shall be independent of IPv4 address space. That means what it is telling, so any new region that is been forming, so that will have the control of IANA, and they will be giving /8 block of IPs. Like let's say if there is any shortage of /8 IPs, and if they need more, that particular RIR can request the same thing to IANA, then IANA can take into that consideration, and they can also issue the new /8 subnet mask and that address space. And when this RIRs can request this IANA means, so whenever there is a 50% or less than space, as I said, /8 they will get right on RIR. So if they are getting less than 50% of IP addresses, so then they can request one new subnet from this RIR. Or if the necessary space is established following 9 months. So within 9 months or 10 months, if they have completed /8 subnet, complete that block, so then also they can this particular RIR can go and talk to INA, and they can give the IP addresses. So I'll add this also in the description, so please go through that, it will be useful. So announcement of INA allocations. So once INA will make any entry, or let's say for single Asia Pacific RIR, if they are issuing /8, so that they will make announcements to all the other RIRs in the world, so that nobody will reuse that particular /8 subnet. Okay, and they also make one kind of book, kind of INA will maintain some sort of book where they will make this kind of entries. So whatever the IPv4 address ranges, whatever the subnet ranges they are providing to the RIRs, they will ensure that it is been adding at the time of allocation to which registry has been allocated, and that is under control of INA only. So I hope this is clear, who is a INA, who is a RIR, and how the IP addressing schema is being getting rolled out. So I have even added one more example of how INA is allocating the IPs to national registers and to the ISPs. So as I said, if you see, the global parent organization is INA. From there they are getting the Asia Pacific, they are getting some sort of /8 subnet, and from there in the Asia Pacific, JP means Japan. So Japan is one of the territory. To Japan, from this complete /7 subnet, they are allocating /12 subnet to Japan. And in the Japan, there is a company called Sony, and now this Sony is getting 211.120.132.0/22. So now this Sony company should pay some amount to JPNIC, and from there they are getting the autonomous system numbers also. So these things we will talk in BGP while discussing about BGP. So all the internet will work on autonomous system numbers only. And if you see on the other hand, again this APNIC, so Telstra is one of the internet service provider. So for them also they have given some sort of /18 subnet mask. Okay, so /18 address range, so they can issued with autonomous system numbers. So this autonomous system numbers also are under control of INA only. And yes, /8 subnet is went to AT&T. So this is also one of the US service provider, and they have also got 7018. So once once this Telstra company, what they will do, once they buy the IPs from this particular RIR internet registry, so they can send it over to their clients. So once this ISP, let's say this is my Airtel ISP in India, Airtel ISP, this is from India. So his RIR is going to be Asia Pacific, that one. So let's say he received /8 block. So what he can do, so he can give /22 to some ABC company. So he can give some /22 to some XYZ company. So based on how much amount you are paying, accordingly you will get it. So ABCD, so this is a D company. So like that, this Airtel will make the entries to all the service organizations. And again, once this XYZ is using this particular /22 subnet mask and subnet address range, nobody will reuse that application, nobody will reuse that IP. So end of the day, your computer being connected to the switch, being connected to the router, so he can go and access the internet through any of the ISPs with the help of these IP ranges. So I hope he is clear how the INA is ensuring that the IP addresses are being reusable across the universe. And INA is also made the private IP addresses free of cost, and organizations can make use of that private IP addresses absolutely free. So I have covered 3 topics here. So who is the owner of internet, how the ISPs will get the public IPs, so who made the private IP addresses free. So what is a public IP and what is a private IP and what is the differences is a task for you. So if you know the differences between public IP and private IP, do comment in that comment section, and thanks for watching.